Well, because, I can't just sit on the bed for, 20 minutes. It hurts my back
Yeah.
really bad.
But, can you imagine, when you think of people recording a podcast, how do you picture them
I picture them in an office chair.
Yes.
Like a normal person.
Yeah.
Not like the gremlins we are. Sitting on the couch.
Well, you most definitely don't picture them laying down on their stomachs on a bed, right?
I mean, I'll do anything for good audio.
There's something weird about that.
Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome to Cinema Crush.
Welcome.
I'm Jacob Salisbury.
And I'm Emily Salisbury.
And we like to watch films.
Yeah.
And talk about them.
Yeah.
And how they're made and the stories in them.
And we do it too much to our families who, quite frankly, don't have the time. So we're doing it to you, our listeners.
So this episode is being recorded the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so last episode we recorded was still in October. I went back and listened to it, and we talk about spooky season.
Yeah, that was the end of the spookies.
So it's been
it's been a hot minute.
It's been a hot minute since we've actually recorded, because we went back to our bi-weekly schedule. So it is late November. We are moving quickly into winter, which feels really weird because it feels like it was so hot and summer for so long.
And now it's just cold.
Cold and rainy. Yes.
I should mention, if this is your first episode, we're in Oregon, so we don't get a whole lot of snow where we're at.
No.
It's mainly just wet.
Yeah.
All the time.
We're supposed to get snow this year.
Yeah.
Which I'm not looking forward to, because then we can't go anywhere.
I don't really even count it as snow, really, when we get it.
No.
We're originally from Wisconsin, so we know what snow looks like.
Yeah, it is barely anything, but Oregon does not have the means to...
Yeah, there's no plow system here.
Quite as quickly. In Wisconsin, it's the moment it stops snowing, there are trucks out on the streets. But yeah, we're here day after Thanksgiving. We did our ritual of Black Friday shopping. Because
not very exciting Black Friday shopping.
Yeah, we got organizational containers.
Yeah.
We went to the container store.
We're gonna organize our kitchen.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm an adult and I get excited over jars now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, those of you who are older than probably 20 and have your own space, once you get to the point where you've collected enough stuff to warrant needing organization solutions, because we live in consumer America, going to a place like the Container Store is hearkening back to my fellow Gen Z kids, old Gen Zers. It's like going to Build-A-Bear Workshop. It's I saw a cool dish rack and I got really excited about it, and then I immediately 180'd and went, oh, I feel old. And it's less about the fact that I'm older, because I do appreciate the fact that I've made it this far in life and I have the means to be able to go to the Container Store. It's more that I'm not a kid anymore.
But yeah, we did that. And yesterday we made way too much food for ourselves.
I mean, that's what you do on Thanksgiving. Yeah, we had a very non-traditional Thanksgiving, though. There was no turkey, no poultry involved. In fact, we did meatloaf and little appetizer things that are vaguely Thanksgiving-y, but it was nice. So we're kind of in the holiday spirit.
Yeah, we've immediately put up our Christmas
decorations.
Yeah,
everything's up. one of our holiday traditions every year is to do like a movie advent calendar. So we've been planning that.
And we'll probably talk about some of them
Yeah.
on our winter episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, as we go through, it would be kind of nice to like update with like what we've watched so far.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Just not necessarily review them, but just like be like, okay, what have we gotten through so far? Because we have movies pretty much every day. Some of them are shorts. There's a lot of Christmas shorts. I need to make the little garland that has all the names of movies on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what I did last year. I had a little, like, paper chain garland that I made.
And we kept ripping it off.
Mm-hmm. I should do something different this year, though.
But speaking of Christmas, I have a very special movie for you today.
Uh-huh.
Because my family has a tradition on Thanksgiving that we kick off our Christmas movie season with the movie we're going to watch today. Well, I guess it's not a movie, it's a TV special. But Jim Henson's Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Yes.
Which I feel like not a lot of people I talk to know about or have seen it a ton.
Not. Yeah.
It's a really niche Jim Henson property.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good.
I definitely didn't know about it until your family showed it to me. And can I just say, this tradition is one of the things that made me be like, I want to be a part of this family.
Aww.
Because it's such like having a wonderful Thanksgiving. Jacob's grandma, Nancy, hi Nancy if you're listening, is the most lovely, sweet grandma and makes the best Thanksgiving food. And like after everyone eats and like has dessert and is just like cozy and hanging out, you put on Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas and everybody watches. Your grandma sings along and cries. It's just the sweetest little thing. So, you know, I certainly didn't have a tradition like that growing up. Obviously, my family had other traditions, but having a very large family where everyone was all in one place and would like come to my grandma's house for Thanksgiving, the thing that we watched after dinner was football.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like knowing your dad, I was like, you probably watched the football game.
Yeah, we would put on the football game.
I mean, I think we watched football too, but like not as intense.
Yeah, well, and like your dad does the nice thing where he doesn't have the sound on super loud. It's like the ambient noise at my grandma's house during Thanksgiving is a football game.
I feel like my family watches football like someone watching golf.
Yeah.
Where it's like someone does like a touchdown, they're like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah.
Little golf clap.
They just kind of put it on in the background. But when Emmet Otter goes on, everyone's there. So
it's tradition.
It's tradition. Yeah.
And I'm so happy that it is, because I love this movie so much.
Yeah, it's really good. I didn't know about it before I started watching it with you guys.
Yeah, and for this episode of our podcast, I did some research last night on this movie, and I'm so much more in love with it now.
Yeah.
There's so many awesome things about this little gem that propelled the Muppets really forward.
Yeah.
And Jim Henson's, like, technical prowess.
Yeah. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that they do in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a Muppets movie where, like, they're only showing characters from, like, waist up. Or, like, obviously you've got shots in Muppet movies where, like, they're, you know, full body. But, like, the Muppet Show is all waist up or, like, full body costumes and stuff like that. This is like, there's full body, there's like little marionette puppets, there's miniatures, all kinds of stuff.
The thing too, and I think I'll get more into the technical, how they pulled off some of these shots after our intermission. It's not like nowadays where with VFX you can just like paint somebody out or like easily green screen someone out. Like they had to be really clever with all of their sets.
Yeah.
And their setup so that if there was a puppeteer that they are hidden.
Yeah.
Even if it's a full body shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to watch this with the knowledge I have now of doing the research of behind the scenes and like reading interviews with like Frank Oz and the other Muppeteers of like, how did you do this?
What magic?
What black magic did you do?
Yeah.
So, would you like to know some history
of
this movie? Some interesting things.
Why don't you give a quick, tell everyone what this movie is about roughly, just to give a point of reference?
Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas is based off of a book by the same name by author Russell Hoban?
Hoban?
Hoban.
Hoban?
Hoban?
Russell Hoban?
Russell Hoban. That sounds right. I don't know if it is.
I don't know.
So it's an illustrated children's book written in 1971.
I think I've seen it before.
Probably.
Because working in a library, I see a lot of titles, but I think I thought it was based on the movie rather than the other way around.
No, so here's the thing. The book came out in 71. The special came out in 77.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that long of a gap between the initial release of the book and the special. But it's essentially about this Otter family, Ma Otter and Emmet Otter, and they're this poor family trying to make ends meet around Christmas time, but they really want to give each other a good Christmas gift, so they're picking up odd jobs and trying to earn money to get a nice Christmas gift for one another. And there's a contest in their town where the prize is $50, which during the time period of this movie that it takes place in, even though they're Muppets and otters and other animals, it's still kind of loosely based in history. So $50 could get you a long way. So they enter this competition and Emmet forms a jug band. And just kind of on the surface of that plot, it sounds like, so it's just a band movie. But there's so much heart to all these characters and so much depth. One of the underlying things with Emmet and his ma is that his dad has been gone for a while. He passed away. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how long before. I don't know if they ever mentioned exactly when.
Yeah, I
don't
think so.
Soon enough where every Christmas they seem to always reminisce back to their traditions and the things that Pa would do.
Yeah.
Very much centered around family and what's really important to you. What are you willing to do for someone?
It's the story itself is sort of based on the gift of the Magi, isn't it? It's kind of like that. You wanted this gift, so I sold this. But I got you this gift, which is to go with the thing that you sold. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know if you've ever heard that story before.
I don't think I have.
There's also maybe a better cultural touch point for you. In one of the Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, there's one where him and Minnie are buying gifts for each other.
Yeah.
And he pawns his old watch or whatever, but she buys him a watch case. It's basically that. But yeah, that's kind of the plot of this.
It's a sweet gesture on both their parts, but they don't communicate to each other that they're doing it.
Yeah, because it's like a Christmas present. Yeah. It's a secret. But they're willing to give up a really important thing so that they can show the other person their appreciation.
Good Christmas vibes.
Yeah. Tell me about the making of a little bit.
Okay, so this movie, I did not realize how important this special was to the Jim Henson Company.
Oh.
This production was the trial run for the Muppet movie.
Oh.
To see, can we do something film quality?
Yeah.
So Jim Henson wanted to adapt this book because it's a nice story and totally fits with what he has going on.
Yeah.
And he brought on Paul Williams. He's the musician for this. Paul Williams, I think, had been on the Muppet Show before, and a guest starred on it because they have celebrities on and musicians and all that. Mm-hmm. But so he called him up and was like, "Hey, do you want to do this special? Because I'm thinking of doing a Muppet movie, and I want to see if you can do what I need to happen." So he did all the music and all the original songs for Emmet Otter, and because of that, he also did all the songs and soundtrack for the Muppet movie.
That makes a lot of sense.
This whole production was just like all of the trial and error that they needed to do for the original Muppet movie. And like now I could see it in like every shot. I'm like, yeah, you were seeing if you could do a full body puppet shot.
Yeah.
Or you were seeing if you could do a car.
Yeah. Or Kermit the Frog on a bicycle.
Yeah, Kermit the Frog on a bicycle is like the first shot in this thing. Speaking of Kermit, this movie has an interesting history with its releases because of legalities.
Yeah.
Because the only connection that Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas has to the rest of the Muppets is that Kermit the Frog kind of introduces it and kind of closes it out. Yeah. Like a prologue and an epilogue.
Yeah. It's like Kermit the Frog, the actor, is introducing like a stage musical. Almost, yeah. You know? Yeah. Because Kermit the Frog is real.
Yeah, he's an actor.
He's a real person.
There have been multiple releases of this film over the years. It aired on television, and I think it aired on CBC and HBO originally, but it traded hands a few times, as did a lot of things in the Jim Henson Company. Yeah. If you know anything about its history. Oh my gosh. Like, their properties have been all over. Yeah. Like, they're settled in Disney now. I don't even know if they'll stay.
Well, not even everything.
Way. Not even, yeah, that's true. Not even everything. Because, like, Dark Crystal was picked up by Netflix. Yeah. So I don't know who owns that.
And I think Emmet Otter is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So it's still spread around.
They're pretty selective about who and how they allow their work to be used and adapted.
Yeah. The first release of this, I think the first release on DVD. So there's a VHS release, because that's the one that I grew up with as a kid, that has, I think, pretty much the full thing intact. But the first DVD release of this cut out all of the Kermit stuff because, like, legality and, like, who owned the Muppets versus who had the rights to distribute Emmet Otter.
Weird.
So they had to cut Kermit out and a bunch of other scenes. Huh. And there's other versions of it, other releases where, like, the beginning is intact with Kermit, but the epilogue is not. There's, like, little scenes throughout that are, like, spliced in some places, and sometimes they're not. The one that we're gonna watch has everything, I believe. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it does. The only one I'm not sure about on the Amazon one is if it has the epilogue with Kermit.
I think it does.
I think it does.
I think I remember that.
But there's, like, I grew up with a VHS, and one year, whenever they released it on DVD, we were like, oh, we should get it on DVD. And we brought it home, we put it in for Thanksgiving, and our family was like, because, you know, we watch it every year, we know every line. We're like, where is the scene where she insults the lady on the dock? Yeah. Like, where's this joke? What happened?
Yeah. Where did all this go?
Where did all the scenes go?
Even Emmet Otter could not be protected from the Hayes Act.
Yeah, I think it's finally, like, fully intact now as of the Amazon streaming release.
I think it has all the parts.
I think it has it all now, but it's weird that it had so many different versions throughout the years.
That's so strange.
Just because of, like, who owns what. Yeah. I have pictures from behind the scene. I'm going to show these to you later, but the other thing I wanted to mention that I thought was hilarious is, did you know that there is an Emmet Otter stage musical?
Is there?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Now, if you were going to put on an Emmet Otter stage musical, how would you go about it? Like a live performance of Emmet Otter.
Everyone's in fursuits, and it's a ballet.
Okay. Well, you're not far off.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm going to show you some pictures. And you can just describe what you're seeing to our audience.
Why is there... I guess the fox is the mayor. Yeah, this is like Cats the Musical, but it's Emmet Otter. But there's also still puppets?
Yeah. So let me show you some of the other
I'm really confused.
So here's some of the costumes.
I mean, they're not... Those ones aren't too bad. I like the way that they're playing with proportions. The fox is terrible. I hate that. But there's a puppet. He's talking to a puppet. I don't understand.
Yeah. So, what confuses me about this is you would think you would go one direction or the other, like everyone would be puppets with human performers.
Right.
Or you would all be human.
Yeah, with like costumes that harken back to the characters. But there's some horrible...
Like, the snake is still a puppet, the frog mayor is still, or like the frog is still a puppet. There are some characters that look the same as the special, and there are some that are like weird cosplays of the characters.
Who's that just one completely normal dude wearing like jeans and a cardigan?
Don't worry about it.
He's just like, there's a lady too. She's just normal.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm sure it's a beautiful sound.
Yeah.
To hear all the lovely songs live. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of weird.
I don't understand why they padded out all of the characters' legs.
Yeah, they're dummy thick.
They are very thick, like weird. Like it's like they're trying to make them look like stuffed animals. This is very strange.
I wish they would have gone the route of the SpongeBob musical.
Yeah.
Where instead of trying to like force your human characters to look like this cartoon or this puppet, you just dress them and perform the characters as if you were the character.
Yeah. Just do the human version of.
Yeah.
And not like the weird
hybrid. This story is so chill and sweet.
Yeah.
And personal that I think you could easily do it with just human performers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easily.
It's certainly interesting and looks like they put a lot of hard work into it. Whether or not that's worth it, I do not know.
Well, I have more about the production of this, but I think I'm going to save it until after we've watched it.
Okay.
But before we watch it, I'm kind of thirsty. I'm parched.
Is that what happens when you're thirsty?
Yeah. Wow, boy, I could really use a drink. Mm-hmm. But I'm also kind of sleepy, you know? Mm-hmm. It's been a long day.
Do you want some tea?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I want to segue into... Weird snacks and drinks. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But only because we didn't really find anything interesting.
Yeah.
Until recently.
Yeah, this thing has been sitting in our fridge for at least a week. Probably, definitely more. Because you found it and you said, that's weird. And I said, I don't want that. And so, here it is.
So, dear audience, let me introduce you to Coca-Cola with coffee, mocha flavor. There's multiple flavors, but I figured this one would be good.
What other flavors could there possibly be?
I don't know. It's Coca-Cola with coffee. It's a tall Coca-Cola can, and it just says with coffee under it, with a picture of some coffee beans.
I think Coca-Cola is perpetuating the misinformation that coffee and mocha are the same thing.
This is great Coca-Cola taste, blended with rich, luxurious coffee. I can't wait to taste how awful this is.
I think we need cups.
Do you want a glass?
Give me a glass, because I don't...
You do the sound bite, and I'll go get you a glass.
Okay. Here's your sound bite of this monstrosity. Oh, it smells like coffee. This is really weird. It is carbonated. I can hear it. I don't like this.
You're pouring the glass.
I'm very scared.
Do you want me to do it? You want to do it at the same time?
Kampai.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't like
I'm thrown off because it smells it smells like coffee, but it tastes more like Coke.
No, it doesn't.
Not like real Coke, but like...
Oh, I can taste it on my breath. I do not like this. I don't... Let me be very clear. There is no coffee flavor. It's only chocolate. It's Coca-Cola with chocolate. The coffee comes out in the nose. The coffee's in the stink of this beverage.
Yeah, it does have a strong stink.
It smells like I was drinking a Coca-Cola while walking down the coffee aisle at the grocery store. It tastes awful. I don't know exactly, like, it tastes like the really low quality chocolate that you get in an advent calendar.
With Coke.
Like, just really, really chalky. And I don't like it. Don't give it to our cat. You'll poison her. Do you remember the like Hershey's, like the aerated chocolate that they made a couple of years ago? Do you remember that? It was like Aero. It reminds me of that. It's just like really low quality milk chocolate.
What would you rate this drink?
This gets like a 2, mostly because it does sort of taste like Coca-Cola still, and I didn't gag while drinking it. But I'm not gonna drink more of this.
I know, I keep going in for more sips.
I don't want it. I like coffee. Let me be very clear. But this is not gonna do it for me.
Here's the thing. I don't like coffee.
Yeah. That's because that doesn't taste like coffee.
Yeah, this does not taste like coffee.
Yeah.
I'm actually semi-okay with this. It's
well,
definitely...
you can drink it.
It's definitely... Oh, thank you.
There you go.
It is definitely below average. Like,
yeah.
Way below average of a good drink. If I was forced to drink this, I could stomach it.
Well, I'm not forcing you
I'm
to
not
drink
going
it.
to, though. I don't really want the rest of this. Anyway, I wanted to bring this because we've had, like, good snacks the past couple times. We haven't really had any bad ones, and I wanted something that I thought would fit that category, and I think I nailed it.
Well, there you go. Don't get this.
Yeah, this is terrible.
It's a no from me, dog. Please get this out of my sight.
Alright, with that, let's go watch Emmet Otter.
Yeah, alright. We'll see you after the intermission.
See ya.
It's intermission time.
Hello, Jacob here with the intermission. It's my episode this week, so you get to hang out with me in the middle part of our podcast. If you like what you hear, and you want to support our podcast, you can email us at cinemacrushpod@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at cinemacrushpod. That's at cinemacrushpod, all one word. We'll be posting updates there and sharing things that we love. If you have any questions or feedback, you can tweet at us, DM us, comment on posts, or respond to stories that we put out. We'd love to hear from you. We plan on publishing episodes bi-weekly, so look for us again in 2 weeks with a new episode. And as always, we really appreciate you for listening and giving our podcast a chance. That's all the announcements that I have for you this episode. So let's get back for our review and reflection on Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome back.
Welcome.
We just finished watching Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Yeah, it was delightful.
For me, probably the 25th time.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've watched it at this point. At least like 4 or 5, probably.
A handful.
But this is like only the second time that I've watched the Kermit version, where like you were talking about, where everything is in it.
I know, because we usually put on the DVD version at our house, because the quality on it is nice, but it is missing some scenes.
Yeah, but this one is also good.
This is the one I'm used to in terms of the pacing of all the scenes and all the dialogue in between that they cut out.
Yeah, we just unfortunately have to give our Amazon Prime dollars to Daddy Bezos in order to watch it. But if you want another cozy Henson flick for free, some brave soul uploaded a Muppet Family Christmas on YouTube like 10 years ago, probably. But the full thing is on there. It's like a 45-minute special. It's the first one that comes up when you Google it or when you search for it on YouTube. And in that one, all of the Muppet casts, including like Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock, come together at Fozzie Bear's grandma's house and have their own little Christmas where they get snowed in, and Jim Henson makes a cameo. It's great. So if you want another Christmas thing, but you don't want to give your money to Amazon, there you go. Give your money to Google instead.
Another weird Jim Henson property that has an interesting history to it, because that one legally cannot be released.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Because of like the copyright issues with the songs, because they didn't actually get the permission for the songs that they sing in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, oops.
Someday I really want there to be like a complete collection of Jim Henson productions.
Oh, just like all Fraggle Rock, all
edition.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, or like a special edition in like volumes. So you have like all the Fraggle Rock that you can get. You have all of the Sesame Street that you can get. You have all of the like specials. You have all of the like original stuff he did before the Muppets were a thing. Everything.
I guess would it just be everything that he himself worked on?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not that everything beyond that is not valid or anything, but like I want everything that he touched, because I know that there's content out there that I haven't seen because he did a bunch of stuff. And I just need it. I need it all. But
such a creative force.
Yeah, truly. Like you can tell when he's the one directing, and like this movie in particular, I can feel the amount of like care and craft that the whole team puts into it from like every angle of the film, and I think that's really great to see.
Yeah, I was reading an interview with some of the Muppeteers of this production and like what it was like working with Jim Henson, and it totally tracks, but apparently he's just like the most chill dude.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like, of course he is. Look, have you seen a picture of that man?
Yeah.
He is the epitome of a chill dude.
Well, he was until his work started to gain traction, and then he got super stressed out and didn't take care of himself, unfortunately.
Like a lot of creatives out there.
I feel like if I were to, you know, when people ask, like, if there was one person who you could have, like, dinner with, I think Jim Henson would be one of the picks for me.
That would be a good pick.
Because I would love to just, like, pick his creative brain and, like, understand his inspirations, like, his influences. I'm sure there were interviews with him. But also, like, what are all the projects that he had in his mind that he never got to make?
Yeah. Or the things that, like... Because I think about him a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's someone that really inspires me to create.
Yeah.
But, like, I think there's just ideas that he had that they just barely had the resources to pull it off. Like, when I watch Dark Crystal, like, I see the vision, and I think he was so far ahead of his time. Like, I remember watching the Netflix, like, Age of Resistance, and seeing that for the first time, I was like, oh... technology finally caught up with Jim Henson's vision.
Yeah. Seriously.
He was trying to do things that were so incredible and creative and like pushing the boundary of puppetry.
Yeah.
Like such a weird niche art form, but there's such value in it, I think. And not just in Muppets, but in filmmaking as well.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like Guillermo del Toro as well, because he loves practical effects and like character acting with people involved, because there's only so far you can really get with pure digital animation.
Yeah.
Whenever something has that human movement, human touch to it, I don't know, it's magic, it's special.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of like we were talking about Wes Anderson on the last episode, because we talked about Fantastic Mr. Fox, which if you want the cozy vibes but slightly more winter, this movie that we're talking about, Emmet Otter, is like perfect. Fantastic Mr. Fox but winter. Not quite as long, but like humor, craft, the music is great, and I think all of that comes out of making a movie for the sake of making a good movie and not for the sake of making money. You know?
Right.
Like,
and like I said in the first half, like, this was his trial run for the Muppet movie.
Right.
So, like, really, he was just using this as an excuse to play with everything. Like, every technique that he could try out. Like yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
Because in the interview I was reading, of, like, the feedback he would give was, like, they'd, like, try a voice for a character, and he'd be like, yeah, that's nice. Do that. Or, let's try it like this.
Yeah.
Or maybe, like, with such and such.
Yeah. Just, like, I can just picture Jim Henson giving, like, his own example voices of, like, characters. Oh, to work on a Jim Henson production under his watchful eye.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention before was the soundtrack for this special did not officially release until 2018.
What?
Just a few years ago. Like the full, like, CD album and digital release as well.
Huh.
But I haven't heard the song yet. I need to go listen to the soundtrack, but there's a song that was cut from this film. So go right now, listeners. Go listen to the Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas album on Spotify or on whatever music platform you like, and just listen to it. It's wonderful. But there's a song that was cut out called "Born in a Trunk."
Born in a Trunk.
Born in a Trunk.
All right. Where does it fit in the...
I don't know. That's why I want to listen to it. Maybe, like, after we record, we can listen through it.
Yeah, because I'm curious.
And try to piece together where it fits.
Yeah,
and that'll be your mission too, listeners.
Yeah.
Do some homework.
Watch the movie, listen to the soundtrack, and figure out where this song goes, and then let us know where you think it goes, because
Let's compare notes.
I don't really know where I would put that.
Which is probably why it was cut.
Yeah. Mystery
song. So fun. And so strange that it took that long to release the album.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about the actual production. There's not a ton that I was able to dig up, but there are some behind the scenes photos and interviews that I read through of, like, just, like, the stuff that they were trying.
Okay, so there are some kind of crazy techniques that they use in this film. Like, crazy to me in my brain.
Uh-huh.
Because there's a lot of shots that involve water and characters on water.
Yes.
And I don't think that the puppeteers would have been underwater puppeting the characters, holding their breath, getting soaking wet, like in scuba diving suits.
Wouldn't that be something?
Like, how did they do this?
Okay, I have some photos for you.
Uh-huh.
I know this is, like, the worst podcast I know because I'm showing you a bunch of images that our viewers can't see, but
I can post them on Instagram.
That's true. But I want you to see those as I'll describe them. I'll paint a word picture.
If you want to see these photos, hop over to our Instagram at Cinema Crush Pod, and I will include them when we release the episode.
So the main set piece of this film is the river. Everything centers around the river. So what they did is they built inside their biggest warehouse studio. As long as the warehouse was, they built this long, skinny stretch of set. Basically a really long bathtub. So it's full of water.
Yeah.
But it's a controlled space of water. And outside of it, they can put their camera rigs and their cranes. And behind it, they just have, like, this curve wall for the sky that they have lit.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever there's, like, sunset and they need, like, deeper orange or red lighting, they can dim the house lights up above for the ambient light and kind of raise the orange light. But for the puppets on the water, the boat is driven on a long chain that is the length of the tub. The puppets on that boat, whenever it is a shot that is far away where you can see the whole boat,
yeah,
those are remotely puppeteered.
Oh.
Via radio.
Oh.
So Frank Oz and the other, I forget the other puppeteer's name, but they're off set, remotely puppeteering the motions. Emmet has oars in his hand. He's rowing the boat. That is mechanically designed to row.
What?
He is actually rowing the boat.
That's crazy.
and the heads have enough movement where they can look around and open the mouth.
Yeah.
It's not as animated. I've noticed when I was watching it, they're not as animated in those far away shots as when they're closer up.
Yeah.
But it's good enough.
Yeah, and they don't like linger on those shots as long.
It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It's like crazy the amount of engineering that went into something like this. How long is this? Like 20 some minutes?
Yeah, it's not long.
20 some minute
30 minutes
special for television?
I think I've seen like a diagram of how Jim would puppet Kermit the Frog in like the swamp scene on the Muppets. So I was curious if the scenes where they're up close and you can't see the boat, like the bottom of the boat in the water, I'm curious if those are filmed the same way.
They're not. When the camera's closer to the boat, you can't see the bottom of the boat.
Right.
That is in front, so they like remove the grass, I think. That would be my guess. They have a separate track for the puppeteers to be on as they pull them along so the background keeps moving with the boat. It's just like an empty shell of a boat with two puppeteers underneath it.
Huh. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
But because of the camera perspective, it still looks like they're on the river because you can see the water behind them.
Right. I figured it was either forced perspective or like, I don't know, some weird, wacky underwater situation.
So there's also the dock where like puppets stand on the dock. Apparently, that was one of the most difficult and uncomfortable positions for the puppeteers.
Oh.
Because the person, like, you look at a dock, a fishing dock, they're not that deep. They're on stilts, but like the dock part, there's a little bit of a support platform below it, and that's just kind of empty space past that. The puppeteers are crammed into that small little space, sticking their arm up through the hole and puppeteering it.
Oh my gosh.
So every time there's a puppet on the dock, all I can think of is the poor puppeteer underneath going, ow, ow,
oh my gosh.
ow.
Did you get that take?
I know. Well, in the interview, I was hearing the one guy was like whimpering, I guess, while
having done puppeteering, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we never talked about that in the beginning. We used to be part of a puppet ministry.
Yes, we used to be part of a puppet ministry, and all of the songs that we would perform were like knockoffs of pop songs, but with like very like evangelical Christian vibes. Yeah. It was hilarious.
Puppeteering is a body workout.
Yeah. Ugh. Holding your arm up for that long and having to move it in the way that you do.
Yeah.
It's a test of mental fortitude.
Yeah. Put your arm up in the air right now as you're listening to this. I don't care where you are.
Yeah. Just do it.
Put your arm up and point your hand forward and then lower your thumb down like you're moving Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Be a puppeteer.
Now, you can't move the top part of your hand because that's not how human heads work. We don't flap our head back. You have to lower the jaw without moving the top of the head.
Now imagine the weight of a puppet also on your hand, constricting it and making your hand sweaty.
That puppet has clothing, and clothing is heavy.
Yes, and sometimes props. And sometimes your other arm is also up, manipulating the stick that the puppet's other arm is attached to, waving it around.
Okay, are you doing it? Okay, keep doing that until the end of this podcast.
Yes.
And let us know how tired you are.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, apparently Frank Oz, I think jokingly, just told him to toughen up.
That poor guy. It's like, no breaks.
It's just like, can we
toughen up?
Can we shoot? Please? Please?
Yeah, because that's the other thing is you'd be sitting there waiting and you can't
because the camera guy's got to reset the film because they're shooting on film.
Yeah, and
you can't just like hit record again.
Yeah, and the character has to be like in the same position as they were, and oh my gosh.
Think about this too. Like we take our digital tools so much for granted nowadays. You're shooting on film with Muppets. You don't get to see that film until it's developed later.
Yeah.
You know, the camera guy knows what it looks like through the eyepiece that he's looking through. But you have no idea. Like, you might be able to hook up to a monitor, but once it's recorded and done, like, that's it.
Yeah, well, because I mean that's what the Muppeteers would do, though, right? They'd have little monitors so they could see what their
like a live feed, like a live feed TV.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh my gosh, the things we do for art. What else you got for me?
I mentioned this while we were watching it, but there's a scene where Ma and Emmett are outside of a music shop and a drum rolls by out of the music shop. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that took about 200 takes.
I cannot
to get it right, because I guess I can only imagine. I guess the drum kept rolling where they didn't want it to, or like it didn't quite land the way they wanted it to for the comedic effect. So they just kept rolling the drum out of the doorway.
They're just like, try it again.
Reset, do it again.
Try it again.
But they got it.
Yeah.
The other thing that they do a lot is the like stringed marionette puppets, like when there's full body characters in the background. Can't really see the strings because of the quality of the film, which kind of plays in its favor.
Yeah.
On the DVD version, you can definitely see the strings, which is kind of cool because that lets you kind of dive into how they made it. There's a lot of background characters doing stuff too.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing, there's like people in shops kind of walking around. There's people on the ice. There's a guy like ice skating, doing figure eights on the ice in the background. That was wild.
Yeah.
They're just like flinging him around.
Yeah.
Letting him do his thing.
You just going. I love kind of turning to the story unless you have anything else.
I guess the other one is there's a fish puppet.
Yes.
That's
you
always
pointed that out.
He's always in water. He's got a little tube that squirts water out of his mouth, which is fun. But in the final scene of the talent show where he's in a rock band, he's in this like tube of water, like a fish tank.
He's like wiggling around like a dancer.
Yeah, it's basically an aquarium with a hole cut in it and a scuba glove glued to the hole.
Yeah.
And then your puppeteer's just kind of stuck there with their hand in a fish tank.
Yeah. Like you pointed out, I can see the puppeteer's arm, and I like squinted real hard at it. I was like, you can.
You can also see the tube that feeds the squirt water out of, which is fun.
Yeah.
Why don't we go into the story?
Yeah. I think the reason that this movie also feels so much like the Muppet movie, and like it makes sense that this was a test movie almost, is the world of the movie is very well thought out and very fleshed out. And I think that's in part because it's based on the book. But like visually it's well thought out. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying, there are background characters. There are lots of scenes that don't feature the main characters. And in the storytelling of this film, there are a lot of little nods to past history, little nods to character personalities. There are a lot of really great acting moments with the puppets that really give a lot of texture to each character. And I think that this is just really worth, like, every time I watch this movie, I notice something new. And I think that really says something about the quality of this TV special. Like, what a treat to have a TV special made by Jim Henson that is such high quality in like every sense.
And the songs are so good.
The songs are so sweet. It's just really good. But I think the story is really great. And again, I know that's more the book than anything else, but it's just very sweet and I just really enjoy it.
This was actually one of the first movies apparently to have a music mashup.
Oh, really?
On network television. Because I guess mashups weren't super popular at that time.
Like the one at the end?
Yeah, where you have two different songs sung together.
Yeah.
Because they introduced two songs from Emmett's jug band and then his mom. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, they combined those songs together in this like nice medley.
Yeah.
But I guess that was not done very much and was really unique to this special.
That's so weird.
Because like nowadays, like on TikTok, you see people doing this all the time.
Yeah, it's a thing.
All the time. They just mash up two random songs.
I guess everything has to start somewhere. It kind of always felt like it was a newer concept to me when they do that in the movie. Just like the way that they slowly ease into it. It feels like the characters themselves.
Yeah, cool, because Emma's just like, what do you mean, Ma?
Yeah.
like, what do you mean sing these together?
Yeah, what is this concept that you are suggesting to us? A mashup?
And then she, like, directs them.
Yeah.
of, like, when to come in.
Yeah. It's a good song.
It's a good song.
They work well together. Are all of the songs that are in this movie unique, or were they all written for the special, or are some of them like existing songs? Because it's kind of one of those cases where like there's some older, more like folksy American songs, and I can't tell if they were written specifically for this or if they are traditional song.
As far as I can tell, Paul Williams wrote all the music for this.
Huh.
He's as far as I've been able to look up, because I did look that up to see like a little bit of the origin of these songs, and I didn't dive deep enough, so correct me if I'm wrong. But in terms of the album of Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas, he is credited with all of them, which really goes to show the talent that he is and why Jim Henson wanted him for the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Because you think back to the first Muppet movie, there's so many good songs in there, too.
Yeah. Especially coming off of the Muppet Show has so many songs that are attributed to the people that come on the show. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see the progression of that from, like, we're going to use these people's songs. We're going to write some of our own songs, but kind of like rework and like reuse some songs. And then to have a TV special and a movie with like pretty much completely unique written for the film songs. It's really impressive.
Yeah. When the River Meets the Sea was a big hit.
Yeah.
Because
that's the one I thought like it totally has like traditional Americana vibes.
Yeah, that's how he wrote those songs. That's the kind of stuff he does.
Yeah.
Is that style.
Right.
And I think Henson just vibed with that. It was like, yeah, that's what I want.
It's like, that's it.
But that song in particular was so special that it was performed at Jim Henson's funeral.
Oh, wow.
Because how could you not?
Yeah.
But thanks for watching this film with me.
Yeah.
And for sharing my family tradition of Emmet Otter.
Yeah, we've officially rung in the Christmas season.
Welcome.
Welcome. It's time. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays for whatever you do celebrate.
Well, should we give this a rating?
I mean, I don't think I can quantify my feelings for this movie.
There's no rating high enough.
No. I will instead recommend that you sit down with a nice mug of tea or cocoa or whatever you prefer, something warm and cozy, and maybe a little treat, and pop open Amazon Prime or wherever you want to find this movie and give it a watch and enjoy. Maybe gather some friends around you, because it's definitely a good movie to watch with other people. That's my review.
That's your rating and review?
That's my review.
My rating is non-applicable. N/A.
NA.
NA. I can't dock this any points.
No.
Because one, it's been in my life as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a beautiful work of art.
Yeah.
And puppetry and music. And love.
Yeah. It's so good.
Is your arm tired yet? I hope you've been puppeteering this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. You're weak.
Come on. You got 3 more shots to do after this.
Keep your arm up.
Keep it going.
Keep doing it.
You know what? Just keep it up until the next episode.
Okay. I already know what we're going to be watching next time.
Oh,
I'm
good.
Very excited to do a wintry film. So stay tuned for the next one.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah. But I think that's everything for us this episode. So we will bid you good day, good night, wherever you are. And we'll
see you in the next episode.
See you then.
Bye.
Thanks again for dropping in, and we hope you've enjoyed the evening as much as we've enjoyed having you here. Till next time, please drive carefully, and good night now.